Let's see. Oh, it's been a while. Got to give some permissions, apparently. Let me try to set everything up now. It's been a while, so things are going to be a little different. I am not green screen today. We're testing out some things here. Okay, I'm doing this. I know it looks weird, but it's because I'm trying to get the proper distance to the mic. What are we going to work on today is a question of the day for certain. I do think that I'm going to increase the gain here a little bit so that's in a better level. Hey, Mr. Magoo, not this guy. Hello, Magoo. Welcome. All right, let me make some announcement here real quick. Stream viewer. Oh, not stream bot. Stream viewer. Live now. A little late. I said I was going to be on at 1:30. We're behind by 2 minutes. Hi, Void. Welcome, welcome. Exciting news. We finally got our new merch out. I'm pretty sure we're going to adjust more, but I got that out of the door really rushedly, if I can say that. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Look at all these shirts. We got a little cute crop top and everything. It is fun. But of course, more designs on its way. I am noticing that most of the merch right now is in a darker tone. There are some brighter ones, but that's something I'm going to have to figure out. Maybe it's because I'm a game dev. But for those of you who's curious, here's what the shop looks like right now. Don't worry, we're going to get into game deving. Mr. Magoo says, Digital Elliot viewer here. I've got to go to bed, sadly. Good luck. Oh, thanks. Well, thanks for stopping by. All right. I'll say hi to Digital Elliot later. Have a good night. Look at this. We got 99% burnt out. We got a little cute beach hat thing going on. I like this one. But it's more summery. For the weather, we got this like little beanie thing going on. I thought the yellow ones to a purple is nice. Excuse me. And then we got some 99% burnt out. This one, I actually like the black on black because it has this like shine effect if you do this way. You know? And then we got these. Look at us go. We're doing it. Don't know if it actually looks like that because this is like a rendered image. We got a little crop top here. Thank you, Void. I think the crop top is kind of cute. But to each own. Yeah. We got the merch. We got merch going. It's... Oh, hold on. Test. There you go. So we are here. I do have... I told you already, I have a new OLED screen that's 4K. But I changed it to 1080p resolution so I don't have to worry about flipping between things. Whoa. Why is there two? Oh, one of them is good. Okay. Today's session, what are we gonna do now? I mean, we have a few things we can work on. Part of me kind of wants to work on Blood is Mana again, but we'll see. You know, when gaming, this OLED feels great. On my other computer, so I use the same monitor for switching between the two desktops, or desktop and then the laptop, which I use for the stream versus gaming. And so I keep it at 4K when I'm working on or when I'm playing games, but right now we're in 1080p. But yeah, the kind of crispness of the image is crazy. How like the darkest black, the darkest color is so much darker. So it makes the image clarity so much clearer. All right, I'm gonna see if there is a Godot game jam going on. The wild gems. Because I think I need some... Oh, it already ended. Decay. That could have been fun. Look at all these cool people making cool things. This is a Blastro shader. That's kind of funny. But yeah. I don't know if there's any jam going on right now. Just scouting. Hey, Consume Me. I saw her what do you call it? Twitch, or not Twitch, TikTok videos. I should probably buy it for them. Let's see if there's any game jam going on. You know, I gotta get back into my Blood is Mana. I gotta get back into my, what do you call, the Dread on Arrival. Things have been slow, but I took a good break. I don't know if you guys can notice, but I also redid my lighting. Oh, that is in the wrong place. Hold on. Let me fix that. There you go. I redid the lighting so that the room lighting is more professional. I got a new work for getting the room set up. So I have this thing. See, the background is a little bit better, the foreground, and then all that. People, I got a real professional to help me set up the light, so it's looking and feeling good. So we are there. Still, I'm looking at these things. I don't know if I don't want to just join random jams, but I am trying to get inspired here to see what we're gonna do. There are a few things as well. While there's not everybody here, while it's just Void and me. Hey, Terabyte. I also started. I got contacted for some sort of like agency slash like partnership, and they're like, "Oh, we can like do all the managing and background work for setting up one-on-one mentorship as a product." Meaning, they were suggesting that I sell one-on-one mentorship sessions. And I was like, you know what? I'm kind of trying that out. I'm not sure how much people want that, even though I have experience. And they were like, I'm pretty sure we can get it to work. And I was like, okay. So that's a product that's launching soon. I don't know. Soon is relatively like, soon is a very relative word. That's like maybe in 2-3 months. Obviously, if you're a longtime viewer, you know that I will never make it a requirement. I still want to do like these free one-on-one sessions that I've been conducting with people for videos. But yeah, that's happening. That's exciting. That just means that hopefully I'll get paid. So nothing crazy out here. Okay. But yeah, a lot of things are happening. A lot of things are moving between everything. Let's see. We got Secret Santa Jam, which is currently running. I don't know what is considered big jams. Do you just randomly join any jam? This one is 12-day session. Write a letter to Santa. Receive a random. Oh, this is kind of interesting type of jam. Otherwise, we're just going to keep working on our stuff. Work on our template. Oh, I should probably turn on music here. I know it's a holiday season, but I don't want to do any kind of like too holiday of a theme. Gotta be careful out here. I know the like holiday songs typically split the crowd quite a bit. All right. Our usual music track here. I'm gonna skip that one. I don't like that one as much. Okay. Increase this a little bit. Actually, I might need to do a little more. Okay. Hi, Magic Fubar. Long time no see. It's been a week, everyone. First time chat? Why is everybody saying that it's first time chat? Oh, it's because it's your first time chat on Twitch. You usually chat with us on YouTube, don't you? Hey, thanks for the follow on Twitch. Now you're on both side. Yeah, I don't know. I do want to work on games. Do I work on the games we've been working on? Do I start afresh? So there's a lot of I mean, it's a disease. It's a disease that I can't seem to shake. And that is a disease of wanting to start a new project every time. I don't know what to do. I really want to start another project. I want a fresh one where I can design like cleanly, you know? Well, we're gonna have to fight it. Terabyte says, I have never seen you work on a 3D game. It's true. I have never seen myself work on work on a 3D game. I don't know if I have the ability to do that. I'm a little scared. Like, I don't even know how to model things. Do you just buy the models and rig it? Should I try 3D game? Should I do 3D game? One test 3D game? My first 3D game. All right. Here we are. You should try it. It's fun, says Terabyte. All right. I'll take your word for it. How about this? You get to witness me learn 3D game for the first time. And you know what? Because I have no idea, absolutely no idea, you could see how I go about learning. First thing I'm gonna do probably is just follow my first 3D game thing and see if this gives me good idea. Whoa, I'm so scared already. Okay, step-by-step tutorial here. Blah, 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 blah. It's coming, everyone. Setting up the game area. Oh, wait, it already has a sample 3D stuff. Can I make a pill? So it's... Oh, I see. Because this one has assets already. It's saying you gotta import this because these are the assets. I don't know. I guess I'll copy this over. How about this? I'll copy the assets over so I don't have to recreate a new project. Wow, I'm really scared. My first 3D game, guys. Okay, I copied this over. It's gonna come over here. Blender 3 Plus is required to import .blend files. Oh. Seems like I need to install Blender. Yikes. Up. Picopixel says, back to 2D it is. Yeah, exactly. What's wrong with 2D anyways? Only use if you use... Well, the sample that I'm using seems to be using the... Unless... Does it have... Hold on. How about I disable it for now? Let's see what happens. Look, this is the process of learning, right? We're not gonna give up just because we ran into a headache. Download Blender. I don't even know if my computer can handle Blender, but here we are. It's like, hey, please donate. Sure. Wow, this is my very first time installing Blender. Wait, Blender 5.0? Yeah, why? Is this a new version? It says it's done. Take me there, please. Everyone, you're witnessing history here. The history of Ezra working on a 3D game. What? That's crazy. I don't know. I feel like I'm a fraud for working on 3D games, though. There are a lot of indie games that are just 2D games, you know? But I guess having an experience with 3D game is okay. I'm gonna make the simplest game ever. You know what? I'm not gonna participate on the jam itself, right? Oops, wall jam. Apparently the pest topic was decay. Maybe I could do a decay-based simple game as kind of like a goal for my 3D game. To be like, you know what? This gives me a clear goal of, you know, learning. Another installation is oh. Apparently there you go. I got myself confused apparently. Magic Footbar says working on 3D allows you to do 2.5D games too, so it's fine for 2D artists. I mean, yeah. But if I'm really goated, I can do 2.5D with just shader instead of actually using 3D, right? Who cares? YouTube says, it's Ezra. Yes, it's me. Hello. Long time no see, everyone. Magic Footbar says, I thought the last version was 4.6. Oh, well, it's 5.0 now. Voice says, that was quite a while ago. Yeah, you've been behind. Terabyte says, try exporting the files as FBX files after importing them into Blender. They should work with Godot if you do that. I see. Well, I also haven't checked if the other types of files are available or not on my asset folder. Should I increase the light? Is this too dark? Should I be like this? Do I look more professional in the light, everyone? Magic Footbar says, working on 3D allows you... No, I read that. Who cares says, lol, yeah, broke my watching streak. I think I was at 10 or something. Now I'm back down to 1. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Wait, is that my fault? Does it remove the streak if the streamer doesn't stream? Hey, some resources out here. Look at that. Some base material. I don't know what these are. These are definitely resources. I know TRES is a resources. There's some sounds. All right, everyone. We're going to learn our first... Well, for me, it's the first 3D game. It has all these assets. Some project setting. I don't care. This is how I go through tutorial. Okay, some static body, collision shape. It's gonna be ground. Your scene tree should look like this. Okay. A warning sign next to collision because we haven't defined a shape. Okay, fine. Box shape, and we give this size. Terabyte says, there are materials you add to 3D model to give it color. I see. That's the only way to do color for your model. And UV wrapping, I guess. Where voice says, I'm on 2. By the way, light burns my eyes for some reason. This light burns your eyes? Okay. How about that? Is that good? I mean, this is the more quote-unquote balanced exposure. Oh, I guess since there's more people now, I gotta show you this, by the way. Look at me. The background and everything. We redid it. We did the lighting and the structure a little bit better. So I pop out more into the forward and background is a little bit more. This is supposed to give more like a professional feeling to the channel. So yeah, look forward to that. I got that done appropriately here. Voices, which reminds me, I have started thinking of making a horror game. No, any light, even my phone screen and the brightness at 0. Oh, weird. Have you gotten like LASIK done? If it burns, it feels like there's some sort of sensitivity. Magic Force says, gonna take my leave for today. I've left my follow. So job's done. Bye. Okay, Magic Footbar, thanks for stopping by. Have fun. Who cares says, yeah, it's both ways. If streamer doesn't stream, then the streak breaks. Same goes for not watching. Oh, that's kind of lame. Because you didn't lose the streak. Whatever. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for having participated in that problem in that way. Okay. All right. Oh my gosh. It's happening, guys. I'm going to make a rigid body. Or static, right? It was static body 3D. And then I'm supposed to make a collision shape 3D, right? And then for collision shape, we're supposed to do a box. It's happening. And then this one said do 60 to 60. 60 to 60. Oh my god. Aground. Okay, now what? So that will be the ground. Collision shapes are invisible. We need to add a visual floor that goes along with it. Select the ground node. Okay, so we're calling this ground. Wait, what the heck? How come this is not 3D? Anyways, doesn't matter, I think. So we're gonna call this ground. I feel like I missed a step. Mesh. So we need to make a mesh instance 3D. What does that mean? Let's read what mesh is. Mesh instance 3D. It says it's a geometry instance node that takes a mesh resource and adds it to a current scenario by creating instance of it. This is a class most often used to render 3D geometry for rendering. I see. Voice says, nope, I just had a cold and headache and was still programming and drawing through the night. Now for past few days, all lights are... Oh, sounds like migraine. Void, that sounds like a migraine. You should probably keep your eyes closed. Voice says, what are you doing, Az? I'm learning how to make 3D games now for the first time. So I'm following along. You get to witness the very genesis of developer Ezra in any knowledge. You're seeing how I learn game dev, essentially. I'm following along the your first 3D game guide on Godot document, and then after that I'm probably going to do a 3D game jam real quick, and see where it goes, you know. Okay, we got the 3D here. Your scene should look like this, blah, blah, blah. We did all that. Wait, hold on. Why did it scroll down? I lost my space. Box mesh. Okay. Mesh instance 3D. In the inspector, click on the field next to mesh and create box mesh. Okay. So we have the mesh instance here. And we want to create a... Okay, oh, you can make any kind of geometry. So you can do capsule. Oh, okay, this is where you draw the actual render, not just a collision. So we're gonna come box mesh. I'm guessing we're gonna make it match the ground. Yeah, exactly. So it's gonna be 62 and then 60. So the collision matches the box. That's pretty simple. You see a wide grade slab that covers a grid. Yeah. We're going to move the ground down. To do this, the grid snapping feature can be used. It can be activated two ways in the 3D editor. The first is by pressing the use snap button. Okay, so we have this thing. First is pressing Y key, yeah. The second is by selecting a node, dragging a handle on the gizmo, then holding control. I see. So I could be like dragging freely, or I can be dragging with the control down and it'll snap automatically. So I don't have to set it up for the whole thing. So it's free, and then I do snap mode. Like so. Cool. Now how far down do I have to put it down? Start by setting snapping with your preferred method, then move the ground node using Y-axis. And move the ground down 1 meter. Okay, so we want a label in the bottom left corner. Oh, I see. It shows you... Oh, it shows you how much you're translating in the bottom left corner right here. You see? I don't know if it's covered, but like that, you can see the diff. Oh, that's pretty cool. Well, or I could just do it like this. So we can have 0, 0 here. And then we're just going to make it -1. There you go. -1y. Voice says, doesn't matter unless you are dealing with navigation. You mean the snapping doesn't matter unless you're dealing with navigation? That makes sense. Hey, Tony. Long time no see. Terabyte says, message redacted. I don't know what you wrote. Sorry. Or did I read it and then it just got deleted? Maybe it did. Sorry, Terabyte. Nothing embarrassing. Maybe I shouldn't have brought attention to that. Okay, so -1 here. Same thing. All right, nothing crazy here so far. It's asking me to do directional light now. Why? Let's add directional light so our scene isn't all gray. Okay. Select the main node and then add directional light. Cool. We need to move and rotate the directional light node. Move it up by clicking and dragging. Yeah. So we can do that. That's not a problem. Very cool. Put it up. Turn on shadow. Hey, mine doesn't look like that. Am I crazy? How come this one is lighting up this side right here? I have to rotate it? Hey, it didn't tell me to. It says move it up by clicking and dragging manipulator. And it says manipulator green arrow and click and drag on the red arc to rotate the x-axis. Ah, I see. So light is right now here. You put it at the Y. Okay. So this is the global. So it doesn't really need to be up on top because it's global light, right? Like it doesn't matter where it's coming from, it seems. A little confused. I don't know. Terabyte says, I was just trying to explain that the mesh is just 3D model itself. Yeah. So, like, instead of mesh, you could use a model. I get it. Voice says, directional light isn't affected by XYZ transformation. I see. But it would still be beneficial for it to be somewhere kind of isolated so you can separate them, I suppose, when you're viewing it. Okay. Cool. So light is coming from the top. I turned on the shadow. All right, so far so good. We got some directional light. We got the skylight. We got the mesh. We got the collision shape. And now we're going to make a player scene. Nice. So we're going to have 3D player. Oh, this one wants me to create a new scene. Fine, I'll do it the right way. So we're going to do a new scene here. We're going to call this player. And of course, this shouldn't be 2D. It should be node or character 3D. Nice. Terabyte says, you need to move the collider down to the same position with the ground mesh so that it matches. You need to move the... Oh, collider as well, right? Because I only moved the render. You're right. Though I feel like that's kind of silly. I should probably do it this way. Remove the whole thing. Oh, one spot. There you go. That feels a little better. Character body is going to be player. Ooh, I need to update that ProtoPass message. Black Friday deal is over. Kayla the Furry, I almost read it as Fury, says, calling upon for a blessing on this code. Oh, appreciate that. Nothing like a blessing. A random blessing to the code. Thank you. All right, just says rename it to player, which we did. To learn more about different physics node types, see the physics introduction. Sure, I can do that. But I think I can kind of guess what they are by the names of it. Then in the file system, expand the art and get the player.glb. What's a GLB? This one looks like a... Is it just a model? I'm guessing it is. Yeah, hi Kayla. We're learning 3D gaming for the first time. I mean, I've been doing a lot of 2D game development, and as I'm getting into this field of becoming a one-on-one mentor, or trying to launch my one-on-one mentorship program for a lot of things, like I can help technically, I can help game design, I can help with a lot of these things, launching and stuff, but I still want to know, like, first-person experience of what 3D feels like, at least on Godot. Um, is it Gilb, not Jilby? Terabyte says Gilb is a file extension for 3D models. Great. Is that a global thing or a brand specific thing? Like, for example, does every 3D, is it like PNG or is it like PSD? Does that make sense? Like PSD is Photoshop file that's specific to Photoshop versus PNG is general image saving format, you know, with certain compression method. Okay, this should instantiate the model as a child of pivot. Pivot? Wait. It wanted me to... Hold on. Add a node 3D node as a child of player. Okay, so it wanted me to actually add a normal 3D node and call this a pivot for whatever reason, but it's okay. I don't mind. And then have a character model here. Oh, it says that. The GLB file contains 3D scene data based on the open source GLTF 2.0 specification. So it is a general format for a model. They're a modern and powerful alternative to a proprietary format like FBX, which Godot also supports. To produce these files, we designed the model in Blender 3D and export it to GLTF. Sick. Voice says GLB, GLTF, OBJ, it varies depending on what we want, I guess. It would be important to know which file format does what and what advantages we have. As with all kinds of physics nodes, we need a collision shape for our character to collide with the environment. Select player node again and add collision shape 3D and do a 3D shape. Okay, we got collision shape 3D here, and we're gonna add a sphere shape. And then for sphere shape, whoa. Oh my god. Sphere's wireframe appears below the character. It'll be the shape the physics engine uses to collide with the environment. So we want it to better fit the 3D model. Make it a bit larger by dragging the orange dot. Yes. I guess this is about right. I mean, this is good enough. You do want a little bit of margin. You don't want it to be like perfectly flush, right? Okay. 0.8 meters. Oh, it was a little different. I don't know. That's kind of small. Is this what we want? I guess it's okay, giving a little bit of like leeway. And then move the collision shape up so its bottom roughly aligns with the grid plane. Oh, I see. So you want the... Well, I almost feel like I need to move the model up too. Here, let's move the model up. How do you know if it's touching or not? Gosh, 3D is kind of annoying, I feel. Okay, this is about right, I think. Then I'll make the collision shape be like that. That seems about right. Yeah. Your voice is contrary to that, Godot and Blender supports various format quite well. So the difference rarely matters with format. You'll get used to it. Okay. I'll get used to the 3D-ness, yeah. A little confusing still. Okay, we did it, and we're gonna turn off the model so we can see things better. Sure. Save the scene as player scene. We saved it as player scene. Creating an input action. Okay, we're gonna do an input action. I'm guessing it's basically the same. We have moved left, right, and forward, back, jump. Same thing, just keep head connections. I know how to do this part. That's not too different. So we'll just go left. Oh, there's already some stuff here. You know what? I'm just going to use UI left and right. May not be the best, what do you call, may not be kosher way to do this, I guess, so to speak. But I'm gonna use accept as a jump here. Cool, I did the key mapping now, moving the player with code. I would think that is pretty much same as 2D here. Who Cares User says, I'm not a game dev, scientist, nor a mathematician, but is there a really good video that explains how collision works? In what sense? Like how collision works in computer science? Because there might be soon, especially if you like a creator called Ezra. Collision detection is very interesting to me because, look, let me show you something real quick. If you're making this yourself, how would you do collision detection, right? You have update rate 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Because you can't do continuous detection. You're detecting every frame. So every time an update happens, there are a lot of things, yeah. There are many techniques. When the update happens, you see if things are colliding. But what if it's in motion? So if the object went from here to here, so one frame it was here and next frame it's here. Technically it didn't collide this thing, but you gotta somehow detect that it's doing that. So there's like interesting questions of like, okay, what if it's in motion? What if it's too fast? Blah, 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 blah. Very interesting stuff out here. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of videos out there too, but it is something interesting to deep dive on. Void says normal games collision is different to when you are doing navigation when it's a whole different ball game. Yeah, navigation, anything that has context of movement, that starts to become weird because collision is not something that we say simply a collision, right? Sometimes you have like direction sensitivity. Are you colliding from left versus right? And it would behave differently because it's like, are you colliding from inside of the box versus outside of the box? Detection is different too. Yeah. It's really interesting. We'll have to do a deep dive here. Okay, so we did the key. It's saying right click the player node and attach script. Okay. Attach a script here real quick. It comes with nothing. Let's start with the class properties, speed. We got target velocity, sure. We're gonna copy and paste all that. And then it has a physics process. I'm gonna have to change this to UI right, UI left, action pressed. This one is what is that? UI up, UI back, I guess. Down. And that's what we're working with here. We're moving the X and Z because Y is up and down within the plane. Cool. Now there's a better way to do this by doing an axis, but it's okay. It says here, instead of using process, we're going to make a calculation using physics process. It's designed specifically for physics-related code like moving kinematic and rigid body. It updates the node using fixed time interval instead of random. So you don't have to actually do delta. I do wonder why the delta is still available, though, if it is guaranteed to be fixed. That's my question. We're not using delta. Okay, so that's a code here. Is it explaining what the code is doing, or is there something new happening here? So we start by initializing direction variable to vector 0, yeah. Then we check if the player is pressing one or more of the move inputs. We got the vector 0, and if they're pushing any buttons, then we move the vector. Voice says, if you want to learn 3D collision, Ezra will make one once he gets familiar with it. Until then, you can check out Born CG 3D Maze Games tutorial. It's basic and easy. After that, come back later for next steps. Yeah, there are plenty of tutorials out there. Thanks for sharing that. You could even link it. I think links are available, or links are allowed now. So, Basis dot looking at what is this? Okay, okay. It says in case a player presses, say, both W and D simultaneously, the vector will have a length of about 1.4. But if they press a single key, okay, so doing the normalize is basically, you know, a no-brainer. So we're going to normalize it. Ah, this is here. Okay, so if the direction is non-zero, we're going to normalize it. And setting the basis property will affect the rotation of the nodes. Okay, I see. So it's also doing the rotation towards the movement, as opposed to just moving the body itself, but is rotating the image, the model, in the direction that it's moving. Pretty sick. Voices can't open YouTube. It's in light mode. I do kit wish to melt my up. Oh, I see. I do not. Okay, right. You have light sensitivity right now. I see. I hear you. Okay, so it says we compute the direction the pivot is looking by creating a basis that looks at direction. So let's look at what basis is. Basis is a 3x3 matrix for representing 3D rotation and scale. I see. So it's a transformation matrix. So you can use the basis to... Oh no, I just closed the window. Can I reopen close window? There you go. And you can make it look at something to rotate towards a direction, it seems. So you can do, ooh, determinant. I haven't heard that word in a while. Gotta brush up on my linear algebra. But we have slurp, scaled, rotated. Looking at is what it's using, example is using. Creates a new basis with the rotation such that the formed axis points towards the target position. So you provide the target position and it'll transform it towards that. That's pretty cool. And we're looking at the direction that we're going to, that's normalized. Very cool. Not sure if that works or not, but it's okay. Okay, so there's rotating the model itself. We compute the direction of the pivot is looking at by We just understood that already. This part is skip ground velocity. Okay, so we got the normalized direction and we rotated the figure. Now we gotta multiply that unit vector by the speed so that it actually moves. So we got the ground velocity here. Vertical velocity. This is like if it's in the air, fall until it hits the ground. Still using move and slide. That's easy enough. So we do that. Sick. Boom. And character 3D bodies on the floor. Is on the floor still working or not? I see. This one has to be determined by the floor, but maybe not. Target velocity here is 0. It's saying that identifier delta. Oh, right. We do that. Okay. So this is the entire code that we have made so far. Simple enough. That was a simple copy and paste, but we understood it. So maybe a little better than copy and paste. We're going back to main here. Instantiate a child scene. That's a weird way to do this. Essentially do a player here real quick. Boom. Got the player down here. What is camera pivot? I haven't seen this before. So we got a player in the middle. Nice. Pretty sick. And we're saying, we're going to create a camera. We're going to add a camera. So this is the tricky part, I'm sure. This is the part that I'm probably not used to. Let's add a camera next. Like we did with the player's pivot, we're going to create a basic rig. Right click on the main node and select add child node and create a new marker 3D. Marker 3D. Interesting. There's a 2D as well. Generic 3D position hint. Oh, you know what? This is what I should be using. So I have been using in my 2D games as well, the Node 2D as like the position hint to be like, oh, this is where things spawn from, or this is like where I want to go to. But it seems like there's like a straight up node for that called Marker 3D. We're going to use this as a camera pivot here, says. And add a child called camera 3D underneath the pivot. Cool. Your scene should look like this. Voice says this. First 8 episodes will do. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Notice the preview checkbox that appears to the top left of 3D view. Oh, I get to see? Okay. Where? Oh. Ooh, okay, okay. So you can see what the camera is seeing by looking at the preview. Sick. In the toolbar, you can also press Control 2. Huh? I skipped something. We're going to use pivot to rotate the camera as if it was on crane. Let's first split the 3D view to be able to freely navigate the scene and see what the camera sees. View, viewport 2. Oh, okay. So you can see what the camera is seeing at the same time as the scene itself. Very cool, useful. On the bottom view, select your camera 3D and turn on camera preview by clicking the checkbox. Okay, so I can go boop, like that. There you go. So I have the preview mode here and then non-preview mode here. Okay. In the top view, make sure your camera 3D is selected and move the camera about 19 units on the Z-axis. You sure I don't want to select the pivot instead of moving the camera? Here's where the magic happens. Select the camera pivot and rotate it -45 degrees. Okay. It says make sure camera 3D is selected and move the camera 19 units in Z direction. Or 19, positive 19, I guess. Oh, okay, I see. This is only a pivot. This is the camera position and this is the rig that's rotating. Interesting. I would think that you would do both at the same time within the camera, but you're keeping the rotation transform and then the translation transform separate. -5x45 on Z-axis. Sick. Oh, that's pretty cool. Look at the camera rotate. Yeah, okay. This is respectable. And then what? You can run the scene by pressing F6 and press the arrow key to move the character. I see. Currently, I'm pretty sure it doesn't follow the character. It just shows the character from this 45-degree angle. Ooh, it's reversed. But it's working, more or less. That's pretty cool. Hey, look, I have a 3D game, guys. It has a shadow. Look at that. Legit. Wow. We can see some empty space around the character due to perspective projection. In this game, we're going to use an orthographic projection instead to better frame the gameplay area and make it easier for a player to read distances. James says, what you making? We're just kind of going through our 3D game tutorial that's provided by Godot document itself. We do a lot of game development on 2D. We're taking a little break. We just took a 1-week break from stream as well. So I said, you know what? We're going to do a 3D game for the first time. I've never actually worked on 3D game on Godot before. So I am learning it for the first time on Godot. And I'm just learning it through the documentation and see where it can go from there. And maybe do a little mini game jam type of thing. So I can be more assured that I understand everything. Uh, Icy Vein says, "Hey, are you into UE? I'm not into Unreal Engine, unfortunately. I'm all about that open source resource, and nothing against Unreal Engine. I do enjoy being able to work on things on the open source engine, and if I need any features like Unreal Engine, then I'll probably think about pivoting. But currently, I don't have need for it, so not interested yet." Though what's funny is that I get a lot of sponsors or um like a product sponsors that's like, "Hey, I want to do an ad," and then it's like, "This is for Unity," or "This is for Unreal Engine," type of thing. I'm like, I don't use those. I'm not gonna make video on that. It would be interesting though to be like, as a Godot developer, using Unreal Engine, I learned to use Unreal Engine for the first time. Some people might be interested in that. I just don't want the hassle and the pressure right now. Okay. Select the camera again. Okay. Ben Unity voice says, yeah. There's really nothing. I feel like Unity sits in a space where Godot is sitting now. So Unity used to be in a place where Godot is now. Gosh, it's hard. Unity used to be in a place where Godot is now, but it is now a weird identity. And I feel like most people who are in Unity is just because they committed so hard on it, or there are a lot of people who's already learned from it. So we'll see. Select the camera again, inspector, and set the projection to orthogonal and size to 19. Okay, so camera. Where's the orthogonal option? Projection to orthogonal, and then says size to 19. There you go. I don't know what the... I see. I don't know if I... Huh. Interesting, okay. When using an orthogonal camera in Godot 4, directional shadow quality is dependent on the camera's far value. The higher the far value, the further away the camera will be able to see. However, higher far values also decrease shadow quality, as the shadow rendering has to cover a greater distance. That makes sense. If directional shadow looks too blurry after switching to an orthogonal camera, decrease the camera's far property to lower values such as 100. Good to know. I mean, it doesn't look too crazy. How about 100? All right, let's do 100 for now. Test your scene. All right, I'll do that. Turbo says, "You did good. Thank you." Look at that. Looking nice. We got them 3D games going on now. Voice says, "Godot only flaw for me isn't the native live 2D support. I had to build it from scratch." What's live 2D? Voice says, "Shadows are finicky, like shaders, I see. Well, we hope that this gets all better, hopefully, or it doesn't impact us." All right, we have the movement now. Designing the mob scene. Okay. Looking. Code at the end. I mean, I don't need all these help, but we'll follow along anyways. We're going to be patient. We're going to try our best to be patient. Even though I want to just kind of zip through. Not everybody can afford to zip through, I guess. We're going to make a new character called Mob. And from the Mob, we're going to do the same thing as a pivot. No 3D. I wonder if this is actually the best practice of moving models. Instead of... Because you could have easily applied the rotation on the model itself. But it seems like the example is suggesting it's best to... What do you call? do the pivot through a pivot node as opposed to actual, you know, instead of rotating the model, it's encouraging you to rotate the pivot node, which is interesting. I mean, I wonder if that's the recommendation for 2D sprites as well. Voice says, you'll understand better when the animation comes into play. I see, I see. So this is a best practice for animation, then. Kind of makes sense. Hello? What is... Oh, 0.8. Let's move this up a little bit. Okay, is that it? Collision shape, we did the same thing here. Oh, this one is box for some reason. We should change its size to fit the 3D model better. All right, well then, shuck. Box shape here. This seems a little bit nilly-willy here. We'll do, how about 2 in everywhere here? Yeah, that's good enough. Whatever. I'm not too stickler. Felsifi? Fail safe, maybe? Adami says, hi Ezra, I'm passing exams in this exam. I study philosophy in France. Hi. In this period. My bad. Oh. Well, congrats. Congrats for passing your exams, I guess. Oh, you're Yusuf. Okay, hi, Yusuf. Well, good, good. Get that philosophy exam done. You got it. All right. Do the box shape, blah, blah, blah. It's okay. Removing monsters off screen. We're going to spawn monsters at regular time interval. Okay. If we're not careful, their count could increase to infinity, and we don't want that. Yes, so we want some despawning thing. Select the mob node and add child node visible on screen notifier. Whoa, what is going on? This is a completely new concept. I want to know what it's about. It says represents a box-shaped region of 3D space. When any part of this region becomes visible on screen or in camera 3D's view, it will emit a screen enter signal. And likewise, it will emit a screen exit signal. I see. Interesting. So this is one way to like optimize and disable an object while it's out of the camera. Voices, hello. What? McCray says, hello, Mr. Radio Silence for a week, man. Oh, yeah, exactly. Radio silence. It wasn't radio silence. I announced it. I said I'll be taking a break for a week. But it's okay. Happens. I was taking a break. A lot of things were happening. We got new merch. You know what? I'm going to do a little insert again. Go check out my merch. More are coming. But it's a perfect holiday gift for all. We got 99% burnt out logos here. We got some beanies, various color. We got this circle 99% burnt out t-shirt. We got the official text logo crop top. Lovely. Wait, why is there? Yeah, I'm just making sure there's no doubles. Okay, we got the short sleeve here. We got the long sleeve here. Ta-da! Look at that. Because oh, I didn't see. Zian did this. Sorry for no Friday stream, lol. I see. Yeah, haven't had the stream in a while. It's just how it goes, you know. Life be happening. Okay. seems like we need to draw a box with it. I'm going to turn this off. I mean, this doesn't even have to be that perfect, does it? It can just be something. Here you go. That's good enough. Coding the mob's movement. We're going to do a mob movement now. Let's see what it says. Physics process. It's going to move and slide here. Similar to the players, we're going to change the velocity here. We position the mob at start position and turn it towards the player using look at from position. I see. This is like how it tries to follow the character. So when the initialize is called, this function will be called from the main scene. Look at from the position. Rotate Y is rotating randomly? Random F, I guess. Rotate this mob randomly within range of -45 to +45 degrees so that it doesn't move directly towards the player. Ah, I see. We'll see. I don't know. It doesn't quite make sense. It wants to be random in terms of coming towards the character. Like it doesn't immediately turn. But there's part of it that I'm like, I'm not really sure about that. Okay, we calculate the random speed. There's some random speed here. It's going to move forward. Okay. We still have to destroy the mobs when they leave the screen. To do so, we'll connect our... Well, why do we have to do that? Maybe they do. I don't know. Voices. I'm 99% burnt out for sure. Dang, it is getting worse. Meds kicked in. Good night, everyone. All right, bye, Void. Have a good night. Hope you feel better tomorrow. McCoy says, oh, I didn't see it. Yeah, sorry. I reread that. It's saying that on screen exited, do something. It's going to queue free on screen exited. You know what? I'm just going to copy and paste this real quick. Boom. Oh, not that. Okay, physics process is simply moving and sliding, and velocity is being determined by the initialize. And initialize is being called by the main scene. So the mob itself doesn't really decide when or how it starts to turn, but it does have the fact of exiting the screen. So it's connected it. Nice. So it gets destroyed when it exits, blah, blah, blah. And then the next one is spawning in, I'm guessing. All right, here we are. In this part, we're going to spawn monsters along a path. Ooh, spawn monsters along a path. It's pretty interesting. Double click on the main scene. So it wants me to open the main scene here. Okay. Main scene's open. And then what? In the file system doc to open the main scene, before drawing the path, we're going to change the game resolution. We're setting it to 720 by 540. Interesting resolutions decision. But you know what? I'm gonna follow along here. The 720 to 540. Okay. And then nice little box. Go to project setting. I already did that. Creating a spawn path. Like you did in 2D game tutorial, you're going to design a path using a path follow 3D node. Interesting. Okay. In 3D though, it's a bit more complicated to draw the path. We want it to be around the game view so monster appears right outside of the screen. But if we draw a path, we won't see it from the camera preview. To find the view's limits, we can use some placeholder meshes. Your viewport should still be split into two parts with camera preview at the bottom. If that isn't the case, blah, 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 that's fine. Okay, adding a placeholder cylinders. I don't quite know why we need the placeholders, but we'll find out. Let's add a placeholder mesh. Add new 3D node as a child of main. Name it cylinders. Okay. So we'll do 3D node here. Call it cylinders. Yeah. And we'll use it to group the cylinders. Select cylinders and add mesh instance 3D. And then we're probably going to create a 3D cylinder mesh. Yep. So we're going to do cylinder mesh. Like so. It's somewhere. Not really sure where. Set the top viewport of the top orthogonal view using the... Okay, so I can be like... How do I do this? Set the top viewport to the top orthogonal view using the menu in the viewports. Huh? Viewports? Menu? Oh, this one? Top view. Oh, I see. I still don't see the cylinder. Oh, it's right here. Okay. And then it says do a view grid, which is already on. Okay. You now want to move the cylinder along the ground plane, looking at the camera preview in the bottom viewport. Okay. Wait, why is the music stopped again? So it's right outside the camera view. Okay. Move the cylinder so it's right outside the camera view. So we're going to move the cylinder. Can I move it? I see. I see it in the camera view here. Like that? Move the cylinder so it's right outside the camera view. Oh, it's the orange is the camera. Okay. Like that. And then top left? Where? Ugh, this music thing is annoying me right now. Hello. Please load. Okay, there it is. You now want to move the cylinder along the ground plane, looking at the camera preview in the bottom viewport. I recommend using grid snapshot. Move the cylinder so it's right outside the camera view on the top left corner. Okay, so I'm gonna just move this, I guess. Like that. Like that. Okay, we're right outside. And then what? We're going to create copies of these mesh and place them around the game area. Control D for duplicate, and then move them around so that it's right outside. Okay, all right. It's interesting that we have to kind of manually do this. Like that. Right aside. Right aside. Okay, that's correct, I think. If I launch it, I shouldn't see the cylinders. There you go. Okay. And then in the inspector, expand the material section and assign standard material 3D to slot 0. Okay, so select all these to like that. Expand in the inspector, expand the material section and assign standard material 3D to slot 0. Yeah. which I did. Yep. Not sure what that does. Uh-huh. Click the sphere icon to open the material resource. I see. So we're going to change the material together. We're going to go to the albedo and change the color. I'm guessing it's to make sure we see it. Doesn't really matter what color it is, but here. We can now use the cylinders as a guides, fold them into scene dock by clicking the gray arrow next to them. Moving forward, you can also toggle their visibility. Yes. So these are just scene markers. Cool. Like that. Nice. That's pretty useful. I mean, there has to be a better way to do it than actually making a marker on the scene, but that seems to be what they're suggesting. That is really loud. There you go. Maybe that's a little bit more acceptable in terms of volume. Maybe even less. It's kind of annoying. All right. Next up, add a child node path 3D to main node in the toolbar. Okay, so make a path 3D on the main. Okay, we got path 3D here. And add a child node path 3D to main node, do the little point adding thing. Click in the center of each cylinder to create a point, then click on the closed curve icon. I see. So we want to do this. And then, whoops. Top view. G. Do top view. Go like that. Then do a close loop. And I drew a little line thing. Okay. To sample random position on it, we need path follow 3D node, add path follow 3D as a child of path 3D. Okay, so we have a path and then we have a path follow. This node takes its parent path 3D and returns the coordinates of a point within it, within the path. Interesting. Oh, that's pretty neat. I didn't know that such things exist. I could see how that could be useful in 2D games as well. I'm having to actually learn a few things, or a thing or two, by just following the guide real quick. To sample random position, we're going to do that. Rename the two nodes to spawn location and spawn path. Okay, so we got the spawn path, and we're calling the path follow as a spawn position. We're going to do random spawning now. We need a script on the main. So we're going to create a main script here, which is a... How come this is regular node and our... well, whatever, it's okay. Export mob scene is a packed scene, which is fine. We're just going to export the mob scene we created here. We want to spawn mobs at regular time interval. To do this, we need to go back to the scene and add a timer. So we can do it off of a timer. On the main, we can create a timer. Call it mob timer. Head back to 3D scene and select main node. Drag mob scene from file system stock to the... I did that. Create a mob timer. We're going to do 0.5 seconds here. And then we're going to have this auto start as soon as the game starts. Hey, K-Mac. Hi. I'm making my first 3D game, and I'm following a Godot documentation for it. Kind of as like a refresher. I've never made 3D games on Godot before, so plenty of 2D games. So trying to see how good the documentation is and how fast I can get one out and running. So this timer, I'm familiar with this. We use it in 2D. On timeout on main, I'm guessing this is when it's going to spawn. So we're going to say timeout on main. We're going to do one of these things. We're going to instantiate the mob and choose a random location on spawn path. So this is the spawn path right here. Spawn position. And so I think what we can do is copy this and change the resource. So it says mob is being instantiated. Instead of doing get node here, we're going to do spawn position here. We store the reference to spawn location node. We don't need that. We're going to do that. Spawn position progress ratio. The distance from the first vertex, considering 0 as the first vertex and 1 as the last. This is just another way of expressing progress within the path. Oh, so you can see how in our scene, that's pretty cool, actually. I don't know. This is really unique. So we create a path like this, right? We create a path between these 4 points. And basically, we're choosing where along the line we're choosing. So we can randomly choose on the location on the path itself. And then we're initializing the mob, which I guess we instantiate it on a position of the spawn position, which is still outside of the path, not inside. It's like in the path. So it's from the outside, it's coming in, I guess. Okay, cool. Timer, blah, blah, blah. Note that if you remove the player from main scene, the following line gives an error because there is no player. Yeah, that makes sense. We have player position here. I'd rather do this, though. So like that. All right. Now, there should be... Hey, yo. Okay. Seems like they're colliding. Oh, they're definitely colliding. It's kind of fun to see the collision. We're starting to get a little pile up, though. Pile up on aisle 3. We're gonna have to change the down and up button, though. Okay. Very cool. I'm gonna flip this real quick because it's reversed. All right, next up. What's next? Jumping and squashing monsters. Now this is where the gameplay lives, huh? Okay. A few more steps to go. I feel like it should have been done faster. I mean, it's been 30 minutes so far, I think, since I started. Maybe I'm being a little too harsh. We're gonna use some collision masks here. We're gonna provide 3D physics layer 1, 2, and 3 called player, enemies, and world. I know how to do that part. So we'll probably just go like, hey, yo, the layer of the collision. We'll create a name. Is it layer or mask? It's saying layer. 3D physics, we're gonna have player, enemies, and the world. Right? And we're gonna assign the layers and the mask. In the main scene, select the ground node. In the collision, set it to be the world and no mask. Makes sense. Mask is what it's looking at. Layer is where it's living. And ground doesn't have to detect anything, so it doesn't require a mask. But it does live in 3, which is the world. Same thing for player here. Player will live in player, but it'll look at ground and enemy. That makes sense to me. So collision player will be in the player scene, and it will be in the enemy and the world masking. And for the mob will be in the enemy's world, and it's going to be looking at world and the player. So it's not going to collide with each other. Oh, it seems like that makes no sense. Set collision layer to enemies and unset the... It's gonna fall through, no? Oh, no. Enemies don't have the gravity logic, which seems silly. But so it doesn't really need to do any masking either. Cool. Okay, so it doesn't collide with anything, it just gets processed. Jumping. I think we're going to the player script here for jumping. So from the player script, there's an exportable configuration for jump impulse. And then for jumping here, it says if it is on the floor, the input jump, which we're going to say UI accept, will add to the Y the impulse. I suppose I should probably add this right here. Instead of jump, we're going to do UI accept here. And then it's going to jump, and then we have natural, like if we're not on the floor, we're going to draw down to delta, so it's going to do that. It's going to drag down towards the ground. And then squashing a monster here. We're going to add a mob into a mob group. Icon appears, indicate that the node is part of at least one group. That's fine. So we're going to go to the mob, create a group called mob here. And I'm guessing when it makes collision, when it makes contact, it's going to check the type of group. So jumping code block. Then after the jumping code block, we added above in physics press and a following loop, move and slide. Godot makes a body movement sometimes multiple times in a row to smooth out the character's motion. So we have to loop over all collisions that may have happened. I see. So after move and slide, we have to get all the collisions and then process it. So after jumping, for the player, after jumping and after moving and sliding, we're gonna have to go through all the collisions, I think, unless it's replacing the move and slide. Let me see. Then after jumping code block, we added above, add the following loop with move and slide. With move and slide, Godot makes a body movement sometimes multiple times in a row to smooth out the character's motion. So we have to loop over all collisions that may have happened. In every iteration of the loop, we check if we landed on a mob. If so, we kill it and bounce. With this code, if no collisions occurred on the given frame, the loop won't run. Makes sense. So it's getting how many collisions I have, and collision equals get slight collision, and then we get the index of all the collision count. We're getting the mob. Wait, that has to be... No, that's right. And then vector up. So it's saying we're going to bounce up. We're going to create a squash function to get rid of the mob. And then we're going to bounce up. That's a lot of new functions. Here's some more information about them. That's okay. We don't need this too much. I'm more worried about the order in which we execute this, but we'll see. Mob's going to do this. And squashed is going to be a new signal here. Okay. This velocity gets set, but I almost feel like this needs to happen before move and slide, because this is like setting the velocity that needs to be applied. So like over here, we want to do something like that, I think. Didn't really say when. The bounce impulse is missing, which is separate from jump impulse. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. Oops. Okay, hold on. There you go. Oh, nice. Squash. Okay, interesting. Oh gosh, I'm so bad at this though. There you go. Okay, it's working. There's some interesting bug with the enemies tilting upwards if it spawns while I'm on the air, because it's facing up. So we probably have to fix that rotation, but not the problem here. I mean, I will have to ask though, like, what's the point of it being 3D if the movement is just entirely 2D? Is it just for aesthetics? I mean, I have to ask that question, I feel like, all the time. Can't tell if the object is okay. It is despawning. Good. It's kind of working. All right. Next probably is just like, okay, it says killing the player is the next thing. I'm gonna read some comments here because comments sometimes talk about new stuff. In 4.4, one has to click the plus sign next to filter group and they can create a new group. That's fine. A bit confused about the for loop. Okay, no. Just people asking questions. That's fine. Killing the player. We can kill enemies by jumping on them, but the player still can't die. Let's fix this. We want to detect being hit by an enemy differently from squashing them. We want the player to die when they're moving on the floor, but not if they're in the air. We could use vector math to distinguish the two kinds of collision. Instead, though, we will use an area 3D node, which works well for hitboxes. Okay. So we're going to create a player area 3D called mop detector. Okay. Mop detector. And then we're going to have collision shape 3D. And this one is going to be a cylinder shape to match the player. Here is a trick you can use to make the collision only happen when the player is on the ground or close to it. You can reduce the cylinder's height and move it up to the top of the character. This way, I see. So if it's on the top of the character, this collision won't happen unless the player is on the ground. The shape will be too high up for enemies to collide with it. You also want the cylinder to be wider than the sphere. This way the player gets hit before colliding or being pushed on top of the monster's collision box. The wider the cylinder, the more easily the player will get killed, blah, blah, blah. That makes sense. So we're going to look at this guy, create a cylinder here real quick. And we're going to make it kind of thin, wide, and then push it up like that. There you go. This one is too easily hit, so how do you recenter? Is there a short key for recentering? Okay. I think that's okay. For collision layer, it doesn't live anywhere, but it detects enemy. Okay. Makes sense. Because it doesn't have to be detected. It's just detecting the enemy because it's just an enemy detector. And when the body enters the player, it immediately treats it as a collision. Here it is. Mob detector will emit body enter, la la la. Code-wise, we're going to do two things. Emit a signal we'll later use to end the game and destroy the player. We can rep these operation under die. And you get hit once and you die immediately, apparently. This is pretty tough game, this. Okay. And then on collision, player dies immediately. Ending the game. Whew. We can use the player's hit signal to end the game. All we need to do is connect it to the main node. Okay, so we come to the main node and connect the hit to the main here. When it's hit, we're going to stop the timer. And then what? You put yourself on the back, each prototype. Oh, yeah. Nothing crazy here. It's just stopping the timer on hit, killing the player here. All right, that's the single gameplay where everything stops as soon as you die. Yeah, I'm gonna try to survive as long as I can. I'm very good at this game, apparently. There you go. There's no progression, so okay. Player died. Sick. Score and replay. We can keep the score. I mean, that's just regular stuff we should be used to. I'll follow along because next one says character animation, so I want to get to that point. So I'll follow along here. We're gonna make a control. Okay, why control instead of canvas layer? I feel like I should do canvas layer instead of control here. Okay, you're the boss. I'm gonna follow here. So we'll say control. Oh, it goes into 2D mode like that. I guess any 2D thing is overlaid automatically, even without the canvas layer. I don't know what the logic behind that is, but hey, I'm not gonna complain. And it's gonna say the label will say score 0. Score 0. And then we're gonna set the font color to black. Okay. Click and dragged. Okay, make it a little bit, do this like that. I also spelled score wrong. It's kind of amazing how I did that. Theme. I don't really care for this. I suppose that does help with making a little bit more consistency. Not worry about it. 22 pixel. Score label. Let's see. We're gonna make a user interface. Call this score label. And we're going to create a score label script, I think. And then this one's going to have score value in it. And then the score should increase by 1. So what we're going to do it is on mob timer timeout. Oh yeah, on mob squashed. Yeah, we're going to connect it. Okay. So over here, when we're spawning a new mob, we can connect its squashed signal to the score label and do the on mob squashed. I don't know why bind is necessary there. Maxwell says, I used to think AI would cook this industry, but I no longer give in to the hype. Oh. do tell me what your process of thought was. I mean, I agree with you in that if you know more and more you know about the industry, more and more you know about what it really takes to publish and launch a successful thing, more you realize AI is not going to completely replace it all. Yet, at least. Not for a while. Because there are a lot of parts that you can't just get rid of. It's not all manual labor. Yeah. Because, like, there's still humanness, there's still, like, coordination thing, there's still verification you need to do, which is, like, you can't just completely trust something else to do for you. Like, even if you were using top talents, you're still reviewing, you know? Even when you're using people, even then you are reviewing people and their work and discussing, making decisions. So, some things are easier, but I don't think cooked would be the right way to talk about that for sure. All right. So we have the score changing. It's going to do that. Okay, so I think now the scoring is working. It's pretty simple. That was just UI being added. And then whenever the mob gets squashed, the score updates. Oh. I died immediately. Next one says, I've actually stopped using it at work because it's hindering me too much. Is it? I would love to hear in what ways. Personal anecdote would be nice. But yeah, I could see that. Honestly, for me at least, like there's a threshold of how tedious it needs to get before like actually using AI is more useful. Like it needs to be really tedious and I have really better things to do. Otherwise it's like a lot easier for me to type and understand because the context of what the previous line that I just wrote did influences how fast I think about the next line, you know? So then if those things were done by someone else, then you're like constantly recontextualizing is my problem. Retrying the game. We'll now add the ability to play again after dying. Okay, that's pretty cool. Head back to the main scene. Go to the user scene and add a color rect. Color rect, okay. And it says use this for a full rect here. Okay, boom. Open it and apply the full rect. Like that? Did I do it? Nothing happens. Well, almost nothing. Only the 4 green pin move to the corner of the selection boxes. Did it? Oh, it did. Yes. Okay, great. Because UI nodes, all the ones with the green icon, work with anchors and margins relative to their parent's bounding box. Bo Racing says, hello Ezra, have a great stream. Which version of Godot are you using and what are your thoughts on Godot's future? Right now I'm using 4.5. Oops, wrong screen. 4.5 stable. I think Godot can only get better. Honestly, I mean, it's the best. It's positioned in a best way for it to be one of the major game engines out there. I think, okay, you got to think about this way too. You know how like Unity and Unreal Engine is like quote unquote industry standard, and that a lot of people have to, like, if you're going professionally and trying to be hired by certain companies, most of the companies have like preferred engines, and that's like small to medium companies. Any like medium to large companies, even some small companies, they use their own game engine, and it's usually not like, that isn't to say like they're using a game engine from ground up. Sometimes they are, but a lot of times it's like a fork of existing engine, or sometimes they buy out an engine company so that they can fork and make it for their own. Godot, just like Chromium, if you remember Chromium, the browser, like the new Edge, Firefox, Chrome, they all forked this open source code to make their own engine out of it because it already has a base building block. So Godot being accepted by majority of the indie developers and students now, which is a big deal, right? Because companies want to use a tool that a lot of people already know so that they're not wasting money on teaching them how to use it. That it'll be cheaper for them to fork Godot and make it on their own than trying to do something else, because then you're hooked up with the needing to pay other companies like Unity and Unreal, Epic, to release your game. But if you're forking in Godot, you have full control over what the engine is doing, and you can, merge in any kind of new features that are coming in. And then if not, you can make it yourself. And in addition, if you do make some new features, when you release it to the people, you have this like community effect of like other game developers really liking you as a game developing company. So I just feel like it's a win-win for any major companies to use the biggest open source game engine in the future. And Godot is going there. It's starting to gain steam. A lot of like major players are starting to use Godot for internal tools. And some of the indie developers and indie games that are well known are moving to Godot. For example, Slay the Spire 2 coming up next year or this year? I don't know. So I don't know. Future, I think, is very bright. I think it might be worth it to know Godot now, is how I feel. Eventually, it'll be feature parity with Unity for sure. Only thing that it probably can catch up to is Unreal Engine's like proprietary like features in regards to making realistic graphics. But even that, there are different solutions to that. You can't like make it proprietary if somebody has a like academic paper on it, I think. So future is bright. How long is the problem? But I don't know. I think right now is good. Okay, so it's user interface, anchor preset, full rect, The retry node should now spend the whole viewport. Okay, how? So this one should be called retry. And then I want this to go to apply anchor presets. Select the user interface. And apply anchor preset full rect to it as well. I see. Like so. Okay. I see. So I made the base control full. So then the full rect of the child control also follows it. Now we're going to make it probably transparent. Next, add label as a child of retry. Okay. We're going to say retry. And this one probably, and this one is going to the center. And then I'm going to make this below.